Hey everyone, it's Sami from Sami's Sweet Life, and today I'm going to show you guys my budget spreadsheet. I have used two different budget spreadsheets to combine into one. I will link to both down below. The first one is from Gia at Marriage and Motherhood, and the second one is from One Big Happy. And so I liked certain things about each of their spreadsheet setups, and so I combined them, and I'm going to show you guys how I am using them both together. So let's go ahead and go into the screen and I'll show you guys what I did. On this 2018 tab, this is Gia's spreadsheet, and this one is really nice and easy. It's a yearly view, and the orangish yellowy boxes are what you put your inputs in. So if you have, annual bonuses or, your yearly income, that you can break it down to month, and you use the average month amounts to fill in for the year. So if you get a tax return, let's say you put that under miscellaneous, you get a tax return, it'll break it down monthly, and so you'll use a snippet of that every month. It's just all of the income combined, and then you've got different sections here down at the bottom. You've got a home section and a bills section, and so you put in your monthly payment and it adds up your yearly amount here. So there's the yearly column and the monthly column. And same with the bills, you just put in your monthly amount, it'll add it up into the yearly total. The other section down here is more of the variable expenses, and so again, you put those in monthly. And one thing I didn't particularly like about this spreadsheet is all these areas that are monthly spots. It was not easy for me to track. So let's say, entertainment and eating out. You're going to eat out like 4 different times. You might go to the movie, you might have babysitters, whatever it is. It's not going to be just one input, like putting it in this one box one time. That's where I used the One Big Happy spreadsheet and made monthly pages. So down here you can see all of my tabs that I've created. I've got a January through December tab set up here, and I'll show you guys those tabs in a second. This overages tab, I think, is one that I just made. I haven't really messed with it. And then the sinking funds and sinking fund tracker is both Gia's. She also has a debt repayment one. We only have a car payment, and so I just put the car payment in as the monthly bill, just a set amount every month. We've thought about paying it off early, but we're not really trying to get out of that debt because the interest rate is less than 1%, so it's a very minimal amount that we're paying on interest, and so we're going to use the money to our advantage. But anyway, I got rid of the tabs that I wasn't going to use, except these sinking fund tracker ones, which I'll show you guys those right now since we're talking about Gia's spreadsheet. So it's got the sinking funds, your total amount for each month. Then you'll have the actual spending come out in these categories down here. So this is set up to where you can see how much you have, in your sinking fund. Total savings here is the $474.92 if you don't use anything out of that account. And then it shows you at the end of that year, you should have whatever's left here, the $5,699 in my case, extra in that account, so you can use it towards these events like, car maintenance. This is our first year of sinking funds, so, whatever is left at the end of the year in this over here, we'll carry that over to the next year and put it in that beginning balance for the next year. Gia did show how she rolls this over, so I will link to that video as well, talking about how she rolls it over. But since this is my first year, I'm not needing any of that until next year. So then she also has the sinking fund pie chart, which is actually really cool. So you can see how much you have in your sinking funds and change it from month to month. I have not played around with this at all, but I love the idea of the chart. And then you can, see the color coding over on the side with that chart. So I think it's really cool. I haven't dove into that very much. So let's go to the monthly pages that I adapted from One Big Happy. You can download their budget sheet, and they do have a yearly view as well, but I liked Gia's a little bit better because it just carries things over. And so I use the monthly pages for these other sections down here to where you're going to be, you're going to be buying groceries more than just one time a month, most likely. So it's not really helpful to just have the one box here. And so that's where these monthly pages come in. I have it broken down into categories. So anything that's going to need to be coming out, not as just a one-time expense, like, you pay your electric bill one time a month. It's great to have on the 2018 spread just one spot for your Netflix bill, one spot for Hulu, that kind of thing. But other things are going to be variable, and that's where the monthly pages come in handy. So going into this, I formatted mine a little bit differently because I had more categories where I wanted to input more than one item in. They had just a set section for, groceries and certain other things. I made categories for a bunch of different things, including some of my sinking funds as well. And so looking at these pages, I have them all named in a specific way. I've got just January, February, March with the first 3 letters of each month. And so I did that specifically so that I can use formulas and put them back into here relatively easily. So all of these ones look pretty much the same. In February, I got rid of the dog category that was up at this top corner because we're not going to need it anymore since our dog passed away, but I have to remove it from the other months as well. So all of them have the lines in the exact same spot, if you guys can see that, because I needed the cells to line up for these totals. So there's a section, all of these green bars are the total sections, and they add up all of the things above it. So that is already put into the spreadsheet. When you get it from One Big Happy, it has the formula in here, equals SUM parentheses whatever cells. When you're making one, I'll show you guys, equals sum parentheses, you can drag whatever cells you want to be included in that sum, and then just close your parentheses. So the cell number part is a lot easier since you can do that drag area. But anyway, that's mostly set up for you if you get their spreadsheet. You may have to make additional ones. And what I did was I just took a category, highlighted the whole thing, and used copy and paste. So you can go up to the top and say File, Copy, or just do Command or Control C, and then to paste, Control or Command V. It just depends on what you have. I have a Mac, so it's always Command C, Command V when I'm copying and pasting. I had to do that a bunch of times to get all the categories that I wanted on my sheet here. You can see there's a lot of them. One thing that I did was I pulled over my beginning balance and I stuck a little pink cell underneath each of the total numbers, and that's how much I have remaining left. And that pulls from my 2018 page. And so to get the pages to interact, I have a different formula for that. And this is the one I had to look up on how to use and how to get the cells working together. So I've got here equals money sign, the one quote, not the double quote, just the one, and then whatever name your spreadsheet is. So in my case, that first tab for my yearly stuff is labeled 2018. So that shows up in my one single quote. So it's got 2018, close the quote, a dot, and then whatever cell you're bringing that from. In my case, it is C34. So going up to that other sheet, C column, and 34 is the groceries here. So $500. So that number, the $500, is all automatically generated into this section because of that. And I am subtracting out my total for this row. So the B19 I pulled from this row, which is my total for the groceries. So all together, that gives me the remaining I have for the month. So it just is showing it up on this page, so I don't have to always flip back to the 2018 page to see how much I have left. So let's play around with this, and I'm going to just say, we're going to add in some groceries here for various weeks. So we have groceries added in this section in the green. It shows I have $180 total used up, and then the pink section below it, it shows I have $320 left for groceries for that month. So each little section set up exactly the same. So this $180 total is what I want to add to that 2018 page to show up, and you can see here it shows up, and that's why all these zeros show up, because they're already formulas. So I use that same exact formula. In this case, it doesn't put the quotes. I don't know if it's just around when you're using numbers as your tab sheet name, but I didn't find that it needed the quotes for these monthly date ones. So it's the same kind of formula, except without those one single quote. So you've got the equal sign, money sign, whatever your spreadsheet's name is. In my case, I did it specifically the first 3 letters of each month. So it's really easy for me to do. JAN dot, and then whatever cell you're pulling from the other tab. So in my case, I would look at whatever cell I'm pulling from, which is B19, and then it shows up. All of these ones are B19, but I changed the month. So you can see the first one is Jan, the second one is Feb, then Mar, on and on till I got all the way to the end. So the last one is DEC. So it's the same cell that I'm pulling from. Since I created all of the monthly tabs at the exact same time, I just had to change the first 3 letters after that money sign to get it to pull from the correct page. So I know it seems really complicated, but if you're in here working on it and setting it up, it really flies by quickly once you know which cell you're pulling from. So I had to flip back and forth to find, which total cell I'm pulling from, depending on what section of the spreadsheet that I'm in. So, I have our gas in here because we get gas more than one time a month, the house running total, a Christmas running total, even though that's a sinking fund. And sometimes, the vacation and the Christmas ones won't be needed. I also have one for Johnny and my allowance. So I've got a Sam running total. There's also an entertainment total, and then Johnny's allowance, Johnny running totals. And down here I have a section for, it says phone plus Apple, which is just any kind of apps or music that we buy come out of this same amount here. So I have a set amount. It includes our cell phone bill and any apps that we would purchase. Since it's not just one line, I went ahead and made a separate category section for that. I also have one for gifts, clothing, and car maintenance, and all 3 of those last ones are in the sinking fund section. So going back to the monthly sheet, all of these things with zeros are things I formatted to pull from those monthly sheets, and they're all set up in the exact same way with that same formula. I just change whatever cell it's pulling from to get that monthly total. This 2018 page is set up really nicely to now all my numbers communicate back and forth from my monthly sheets. And it seems like I'm on the monthly sheets a whole lot more than I'm on that 2018 sheet, because I'm always, adding in a grocery thing here, adding in an eating out, adding in the gas, whatever it is. And then I don't have to access the 2018 page nearly as much. I'm almost to the end of using this for month 2, and I just love this setup. I think it's worked so well for me. The only thing I found that if I want to change numbers for a category, let's say, we need more for the grocery budget. If I change this, it's going to be affecting the previous months as well. So what I was thinking I would do is maybe make a line down here of, the net inflow outflow number is already on here from Gia. I just highlighted it with pink, that whole line down there. I thought I'd make a new line maybe that if I ever end up tweaking something, I will carry over my numbers here down there. And so if it changes, I'll still know how much we saved that month, even though it'll show that we saved more since I added more to the budget. That's the only thing that I found that it's going to change my past stuff if I mess around with it at all. So Gia's spreadsheet did not show the sinking fund excess on this sheet. It has a separate tab for that, the sinking funds. It'll show you the excess on here. But I went ahead and just added a line here where I added up my monthly things and then subtracted out whatever was taken out of it. So I have that section on here which shows how much sinking fund money gets added to savings. And then I also have an inflow, outflow, this net inflow, outflow minus the sinking fund money, since this is theoretically supposed to be set aside in a savings account so you can use it when you need it. That section's not necessarily, extra savings. I want to have like extra savings, and so I've been keeping track of a number down here. Once that excess is taken out, I'm keeping track of the number down here that's the excess money that we have to put in savings that's not including in that sinking fund savings. I hope this isn't too confusing. I think I may have just confused myself. So I just wanted to theoretically set this aside and just concentrate on the number down here that's my net flow minus whatever savings we put aside for those sinking fund savings. I hope that makes sense for you guys. Looking at this spreadsheet, it does seem really overwhelming. It definitely seems intimidating at first, but once I played around with the numbers and tweaked it, I found that I really like using both of their systems combined. I hope you guys can get some tips and tricks from this video and it was helpful for you guys. Be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you do have more questions about, setting up the spreadsheets, let me know down below and I may end up doing another one of these screen videos for you guys if you have more questions. I tried to gloss through it kind of quickly, but if you need more of a rundown, I'd be happy to do that as well. Have a great day. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time. Bye.